All right, everyone. So today we're going to be doing an interview with one of actually the co-founder of Funny Bones crew, BurstRock, and hearing his journey and what the popping scene looked like in the LA in the 90s. So this is going to be a great interview. I'm excited to hear what the story and what was going on in LA at the time. So let's get BurstRock in first. And also, Mikey is here with me, so he might just jump in. He may not. Let's see.
I'll be right here, just chilling.
He's just chilling, yeah. And also, thank you, Mikey, for connecting me to BurstRock. So
Yeah.
that's appreciate that. Okay. Put it here. Johnny Blaze, hey man. Oh, here we go. Hey, okay. Hey, Dubster. Hey, love from India. Hey,
There we,
how's it going,
we go.
BurstRock? Can you hear me?
Yo, what's up? Yeah, I can hear you, brother. How you doing?
Good, good, man.
What up, Verse?
What up, Sprite? What's cracking with it?
Chilling, dog.
Yeah, man. We're just here, just gonna get started with the interview. I appreciate you taking time to share. First of all, I want to just say
Yeah,
thank you for
of
you know,
course.
I appreciate that. A little bit just to share a little bit about myself. I've been doing interviews about poppers from all over the world. Poppers from the Bay Area, poppers from LA, poppers from Russia, all over the world. So I've been kind of documenting the stories, the interviews, hearing the people that've been influencing the next generation, the people that are they're making noise in the community. They're really inspiring people. And I know your name came up a couple of times when I was, looking around, asking around. So I was like, man, how could I get to interview BurstRock because of Funny Bones. Funny Bones, that name, I've met so many people from that crew that represent popping, Mikey himself. So I was like, what's the history of Funny Bones? What was going on in LA in the 90s? Those were the kind of the thoughts that were coming up in my mind. So again, I appreciate you, being here to share your story.
Yeah,
So
yeah, Joe. Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for wanting to interview me, bro. You know, what I mean,
yeah.
gotta get the knowledge out there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. Because people don't get to hear it. Like sometimes a lot of events, I feel people dance, but then people go their way, so people don't get to really hear certain stories.
Yeah.
But
Well, events are always gonna be different, bro. Events are it's a setup competition. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna get the full history unless you're really out there and you really live it. You know what I'm saying? This is a lifestyle. You know,
right,
I mean, there's a lot of old school cats, that really live this life and this culture. It's not just something you just kind of go to a dance studio and learn and take a class. You know what I'm saying? Like this is
right,
really a culture. You know what I'm saying? So you don't really get that you don't get that at a dance event, bro. You
right,
know what I'm saying? You get everything else. You get a competition vibes. You feel me?
right,
You don't get the essence and the truth of the true street culture of street dance.
right,
You know?
right. No, I hear you. So I mean, yeah, to kind of get into it, Burst Rock, how did you get into dance? Like, where did your journey start? Because you born and raised in LA, correct?
Yeah, I'm from Los Angeles, a resident of born in Gardena, Gardena, California, raised in different cities in Los Angeles, California, but I call San Gabriel Valley my home, which would be Alhambra. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Um, I mean, what got me into dancing, bro, it's really one thing, bro. It just kept me off the streets. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like it was something to put my time into. You know what I'm saying? When I was growing up, there was a group of youngsters, that were breakdancing, and I started popping. You know, I tried to
Mm.
break dance. It really wasn't for me. You know what I mean? I have a cousin that came from up north, and he taught me the fundamentals, the basics of popping. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Taught me in Long Beach, California. That's where I first started learning how to pop, and from there I just kind of went with it. You know what I'm saying? Just started going hard in the paint with it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. So this is during the 90s.
Yeah, this is So I started taking popping seriously in '94. That's when I
90s.
started taking dancing seriously. But I've danced all my life. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I've danced all my life. I'd say about '93, around there is when I started to dabble in the popping a little bit. '94 really went for it because my friends were breakdancing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Okay.
I tried to break and I really couldn't do it. So I just, that old saying, "Don't be a follower, be a leader."
Yes.
When your
Yes.
mama tells you don't be a follower, be a leader, that shit's true. That shit's real. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? I don't follow nothing. I lead in everything that I do. You know what I'm
Nice.
saying? I do the
Yes.
opposite of what everybody else was doing.
Yes, yes, no, you got to. That's very true. So 94, 95. What are people doing in like in LA and popping? Like what who were the people that who were the names that were being talked about? What was that like, the popping community?
So in the '90s, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. There really wasn't no popping scene.
Okay.
Popping's always been around. It never died out. Popping's always been around. It just went to a different place. So in the '90s, it was a lot of house parties, backyard boogies. It was warehouse parties, ditch parties. You know, there was a lot of that going on, right? So that's the time when like the ravers and the groovers, and
Mm.
they were the ones kind of keeping the popping scene alive. But to say that there was an actual popping scene, there wasn't what we have today. I mean, the
Wow.
the biggest events we had were like the Radiotron, you know what I'm saying? And later on came freestyle session, all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying? That's when
Mhm.
but that time breaking was big.
Mm.
Popping didn't start to develop, more until like the 2000s
Okay.
when it started opening up the gates to having a lot of popping competitions. But
Mm.
breaking was the bigger thing in the '90s. You know what I'm saying? And there
Yes.
was always like one popper amongst a bunch of
Right,
breakers.
right.
Like there was
Yes.
one popper to every breaking crew. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, there was a lot more pop. And I'm telling you because someone might tell you a different story, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling
Hmm.
you from the story how I lived it. Now
Hmm.
everybody has a different story, and the way they lived different in the '90s. But I'll tell you, in the '90s, I was really there.
Mm.
I was at these places. I was at these battles. I was at these raves. I was at all these things where I seen poppers, and a lot of them were groovers at the time. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And I don't know if you know what a groover and a raver is. Like that's
Yeah, the
you
rave.
know what I'm
Yep, the
saying? That's the
electronic.
guys dancing with the glow sticks and doing all this
Yeah, yeah,
crazy shit. You
yeah.
know what I mean? That's where a lot of the popping came from too. And they started coming up with these crazy ass waves, liquid waves, and all this other bullshit they started making up. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
But you know
Okay.
what I'm saying? And again, someone might tell you a different story, but I'm telling you from the story where I actually lived it. I was at these backyard, and there was no poppers there. There was maybe a handful of poppers that I can name, and they're not even in the popping scene, but they were at these places. Poppers
Wow.
didn't start getting popular till the 2000s. You
Two
know, they,
thousands. Okay.
in the 2000s, that's when they started making like their noise in the popping scene.
Okay.
But they weren't like a lot of these OGs that are OGs. They really are. They just weren't around.
They weren't around.
They
Wow.
weren't around. They were in their sections, wherever their section was. That's where they were at. But they weren't at these places that I was at.
I
You know what I'm
see.
saying? So
Okay.
again, everybody's gonna tell you a story differently depending on how they lived it.
Right.
This is my story. I'm gonna share my story with you the way I
Yes.
know it. You feel me?
Yes. So what? How? Because I know, right? I saw Johnny Blaze wrote "Funny Bones Crew versus MGF Battle Broke the Ice." Before we get to that, how did Funny Bones Crew come about? Who? It was you. I was told it was yourself and Warlock.
Yeah, Warlock and I put that crew together. So Warlock is from an old school crew called Goof Troop. Now that was an old school b-boy crew in the '90s, right? Very well respected dance group in breaking. And again, there was one popper in the crew. Maybe they had some other ones that dabbled in it, but there was Warlock that represented Goof Troop Breakers. And I was from a crew called Soul to Soul Breakers in the '90s, which I created in '97. Again, there was no popping crews. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
There
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
there was b-boy crews, Rocksteady crew, LA Breakers, you know what I'm saying? Jive Tribe, like all these old school breaking crews. That was what was representing in the time. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying?
Okay.
Um, so Warlock was from Goof Troop. I was from Soda Soul B Boys. And then in 2002, we linked up and we entered a battle. And we never battled together at all. It was the first time we battled. We started coming up. We started practicing 2 weeks together before the battle, and we wound up winning the battle. So we did so
Nice.
good together that we started a crew around us, but we didn't have a name. So we call it. We were going to call it 51 Soul for Soda Soul Breakers, which is the crew I represented, and Goof Troop Breakers, and they had a group called Area 51. Area 51
Ah.
was their rap group, and
Okay.
Goof Troop wasn't really dancing no more, but they had the Area 51 crew, which was the rappers
Hmm.
and the dancers in there. So we did 51 Soul to create our crew amongst us, and then one of the homeboys from Area 51 came up with the name Funny Bones Crew. He came up with the name Funny Bones, and he said because Warlock's funny and I'm skinny, so it makes sense. Funny Bones. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
not skinny no more though.
I'm not skinny no more, bro. Too many cervezas. Too many cervezas. So yeah, that's how the crew came about, bro.
Wow.
And at the time, we were the only Chicanos really holding it down in the
Mm.
Chicano scene. Like
Hmm.
there was really no Chicano scene. So what we were trying to create, Funny Bones, as a full Chicano crew, and
Hmm.
it was going that way. It was going that way until we recruited Jet Li. Jet Li was the
Jet
first out.
Li.
Jet Li's the first outsider that we really
Wow.
got a part of the crew that was not uh, of Hispanic descent. Well, actually, I'm lying. The first the first member outside of Hispanics was B-Boy Don. But B-Boy Don is like an old school OG popper breakdancer, and
Hmm.
he's like Raza, bro. He's like one of us. You know
Wow.
what I'm
Okay.
saying? But back then, when Don was hanging out with us, he had a brim, like he used to look like us. You know what I'm saying? But he was Filipino. He's
Hmm.
Filipino.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was like the first member outside of the Latin community,
Hmm.
and then it was Jet Li, and then from there we just opened the doors and said, "Fuck it, we're not gonna keep it a Rasta crew. We're gonna open the doors for everybody, any nationality that wants to get down with us. You know,
Wow.
what I mean, we're gonna be that crew that really opens the doors and brings people from different areas together.
Wow, because yeah, I know there's some members overseas, like in Europe, and
Yeah,
yeah. So you now it's international.
yeah, it's international, bro. We're international now, and a lot of that has to do with our crew members recruiting other members and bringing them to us. And but they wouldn't come to us if the history that Warlock and I didn't create. And I'm talking about from our dance style to the way we dress. The way you dress is very important in
Mm-hmm.
popping. You have to represent your image and your culture properly. It's not like nowadays where people roll out of bed and fucking go battle in pajamas and
Right.
got bedhead. Like it's to me, it's a horrible representation of popping for the people before actually put in the work, the style, the white gloves, the letters on your jacket, your crew,
Mm-hmm.
khakis, your Chuck Taylors. Like the way you dress was very important. And Warlock and I dressed like twins when we went
Wow.
out. We're not twins, but we. If I had a blue dicky suit, he had a blue dicky suit. If I had a black dicky suit, he had a black dicky suit.
Nice.
If I had a
Right.
khaki dicky suit, he had a khaki. If I was dressed like a pachuco, he was dressed like a pachuco. We were dressed like twins, and I think that helped create our image of Funny Bones. And then the way we danced, like we didn't dance like every other popper, because we're not students of the game. We don't go pay 10, $20 and try to learn from a dance instructor and look like we're dancing like the dance instructor. We never did that. We are homegrown from the streets. I've never took a
Mm.
dance class in my life. Not
Wow.
once have
Hmm.
I took a dance class in my life. Warlock has never took a dance class in his life. We taught plenty of dance classes.
Right.
You know, what I mean, we taught plenty of them, but
Right.
us never took one class from anybody. So we stayed and we looked different from everybody else. So that's what helped keep our representation of our crew. People were attracted to that, and they started to flock to that. Oh, I like the way that food dresses. I want to be down. I want to look like them. I want to dress like them. The way people dress like gangsters now, popping, that was 70s and 80s look, bro. Nobody in the
Mm.
90s and 2000s were looking like that. Everybody was trying to be a pimp. Everybody's trying to
Mm.
wear some flashy, some pimp shoes, some hush puppies, and some slacks and silky
Yeah.
shirts and like that. Everybody's trying to look like a pimp. We don't
Oh,
dress like that in LA. In LA, we had the street, the gangster culture. That's what influenced us. So
wow.
that's how we continue to represent Warlock and I till we created what we created now. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. No, as I'm having this conversation, I'm having a reflection of how some people, even myself, when we first see the dance, we're like, okay, popping, and it's just surface level, and we forget about how like you said, the clothes, the music, what was going on, the just the layers. It's not just the dance, it's the culture. It's a culture for some
Yeah.
people. For yourself, you're born into it, and it's not just a dance.
Yeah. No, for someone like myself, bro, popping saved my life.
Mm.
And there's a lot of cats that are from my era that will tell you the same thing for themselves. Because it was a way for us to get away from the street life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Depending on what area you live in, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of activity in these areas. You know what I'm saying? And you can either choose one route or you can choose the other route. You can
Mm-hmm.
join a football team or you can join the neighborhood street gang. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's up to you. Like, we had options on what we wanted to do. Some of
Mm-hmm.
us, some of us didn't have love at home. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Others did. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just a way that we expressed ourselves, dog, and that's just what kept us out of trouble. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Going, meeting up with your crew, with your homies, and practicing. Going to the Boys and Girls Club. You know,
Mm-hmm.
going to school dances. You know, little things that just keep you out of trouble. You know, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people didn't live through that, bro. Like
Right.
the thing,
Yeah.
what goes on now it's not what went on back in the day, and which is cool because
Right.
we don't want to live, we don't want to relive what we lived back in the day, right? Like it's
Right.
cool, like it's evolving, which is good, you know. But these are some of the things that we went through in order
Mm-hmm.
for us to get to where we are today. You know,
Right.
what I mean, you could talk to a lot of poppers that, and you can see it in their faces that they live the street life. Like you know
Mm-hmm.
who's who. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And you can have a conversation with that person, and and you'll learn so much more
Right.
than you'll learn if you go and you pay $20 to take a dance class.
Right.
You feel me? Like you want to learn the heart of the street dance.
Yeah.
Talk to an OG. Talk to somebody that really lived the life. Don't
Yeah.
talk to somebody that learned from somebody that learned from somebody else and continue to build a business and a market off the culture, which is good. Hey, however you eat, that's up to you. You feel me? But don't teach a false narrative if you don't know it and if you didn't live it. The way
Right.
you learned is you learned by taking classes from everybody else and whatever your teacher told you. So
Right.
someone can't come and tell me and what I'm saying is a lie.
Right.
You
Right.
feel
They
me?
can't. Yeah. They can't
They can't.
question.
I live this shit.
Right.
I lived this shit. Like I went through I was at house parties getting shot at, jumping
Yeah.
walls, jumping fences to get away because the house party got shut down. The cops came. The gangbangers are tripping. The tigers are out there getting down. You know what I'm saying? Like I lived through all this shit.
Mm.
So can't nobody tell me what I'm saying is wrong because it's really a
Right.
lifestyle. You feel
Right.
me? You understand what I'm saying?
No. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the difference between somebody that lives the culture and doesn't live the culture.
Right.
You
No,
feel me?
no. Yeah, I feel like it's like you can go to the source, talk to the people that live the experience, or playing the phone game where one person said something, the other person said something,
Yeah,
going
yeah,
down the line to,
yeah.
so I know, no, for sure, I understand. Man, I would like to ask a bit of, can you describe the popping style that you did with Warlock? And I guess would you say Funny Bones Crew holds this style? There's a certain style of popping, no?
We just call it funny bone style.
Funny Bone
It's
style.
just
Can you
funny bone
describe
style
that?
because it's just our style. It's the old school puppets. It's the old school waving. We're not making up no new waves, micro mini waves, and finger tutting this and all. We ain't making up none of that bullshit. It's old school tutting, old school popping, old school gliding, old school everything, old school
Wow.
ticking. You know what I'm saying? Like all this other new name shit that people are coming out with, and their teacher taught them this name. Like, yeah, whatever. You know what
So
I'm saying?
okay, so here's the question: What? So the old school, you're saying puppet ticking. What were people doing back then?
Exactly what I'm telling you. Gliding,
Puppet
waving,
ticking.
ticking. Yeah,
Okay.
if you never watched the movie Breaking and Beat Street and all that other shit, that's
Yes.
exactly what they were doing.
That's what was happening.
They
Okay.
weren't doing no micro mini waves and single so and blah 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 and woo woo woo. It's a wave. However you want to call that, it's a wave. You can
Okay.
heat you can heat up your food any way you want, but guess what? You're putting it in the microwave. You feel me?
Yeah.
Say what you want. Oh, I invented this. Yeah, whatever. Whatever makes you feel better about yourself. Hey, by all means, I'm not a hater. You do
Okay.
your thing. But at the end of the day, it's still a wave.
Okay.
You still a tut. It's still a tut. You feel me? Like you
So
glide, it's still a glide.
right. Yeah, it's these were the names and everything kind of branching off of that, or new
Yeah.
names are added. So would you say then Funny Bones Crew represents that? That's the like the old school popping in LA. It's like that's what it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
20 Bones Crew. Majority of us represent
Mhm.
the LA style of popping culture.
The LA
You know what
style
I'm saying?
popping.
I
Okay.
can't speak on every other member
Right.
because not all the members live like I lived. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? A lot of our members, some of them may have taken classes. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I can't speak for that member. I can only speak for Warlock and myself, the
Right.
founders of Funny Bones Crew, what we created and what we share with our members. You feel me?
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, it's up to every other member to talk on their own behalf and say, hey, you know what? This is where I learned, and this is who my teachers are. Whatever. That's a conversation for them. You feel
Hmm.
me? But I can only speak on Warlock and I, how we created what we created and how what we've done throughout the years. You feel me?
I hear you. Okay. Now, speaking again of you and Warlock and creating Funny Bones Crew, and I know you even mentioned even before Funny Bones Crew, what were some moments in your journey, in your in your dance journey in LA that would you say are like highlights or memorable moments that maybe I don't know it just shifted your thoughts or maybe something that you'll never forget. It could be a battles, it could be I don't know. Well, any memories you were like I'll
Man,
never.
all of my memories come from the beginning of everything. Like my great memories come
Yeah.
from battles. I mean, I one time I battled some guy, and I don't even know if he really. This was like in 97, 98, bro. We used to the breakers used to start the battles. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And then one time we were like at an underground spot in South Central LA, and the breakers were battling. And this is back in the party crew era, and one guy from that side started popping, and that's when the breakers threw me out to the popper. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
the guy at the time, he said he was from Rocksteady Crew. If it's true, I don't know.
Hmm.
I remember his name. I want to say his name was Pops. Pops from
Hmm.
Rocksteady Crew.
Hmm.
Um, and him and I went at it. Now, whether if
Hmm.
he really was from Rocksteady, I don't know.
Right.
But back in 97, 98, you know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't matter where anybody can get it. But anyway, we battled for like an hour straight, bro. Just him and
Wow.
I exchanging an hour straight. Like, we had this whole crowd around us. And by the end of it, it's like, hey, bro, no one's even watching us no more. I'm not gonna stop.
Wow.
I'm not gonna stop. I know you're not gonna stop. You just want to just call it even, and I was like, fuck it, we'll call it even. Slap
I
hands and
love
we went our
that.
own way. You know what I'm saying? So
Wow.
that's a good
Okay.
one. I remember when I first battled. This one's funny because it's homies from the crew and poppers that you guys know.
Hmm.
But I this was back in Alhambra. There's the Renaissance Center, which is a movie theater, and I want to say this was like 2002, and
Hmm.
this is when Jet Li was barely coming out. It was Jet Li, Poppin' Cherries,
Hmm.
Mr. Fantastic,
Okay. Wow.
uh, um, and there was like two other guys with them. I don't remember these guys. They were young though. They were still young. They were in their prime.
Hmm.
And my homie Ricky, which was from Soto So, I'm from that area. That's where my city. That's where I was from. So I was living at a house in Norwalk at the time, and my homie Ricky was working at the movie theater, and he saw these guys dancing, and he goes up to me and goes, "Hey, you guys know who BurstRock is?" And woo woo, and they're like, "Nah, we don't know who that guy is." And they were like kind of like smutting me up, you know what I mean? Not knowing who I was, but they were like kind of smutting me up, you know. And my homie Ricky calls me on the phone. He's like, "Hey, fool, there's some fools over here, and they're out here popping, and they're talking a gang of shit, fool. Like they'll smoke you, and wah, and woo woo woo." And I was like, "Wait, what? Who?" And he's like, "I don't know who these guys are, but there's some youngsters, and they're out here getting down, and they're talking a gang of shit." And I was laying down watching TV. And I was like, say less. I jumped out my bed. And mind you, I lived in Norwalk. Norwalk to Alhambra, that's about a good 30-minute drive, depending on
Oh.
traffic. So
Yo,
I,
okay.
I grabbed my ghetto blaster. I jumped in my car, and I drove straight to the Renaissance. And then I walked up. I turned on my ghetto blaster when I got out, walked up to them when they were dancing, were out doing a little street show, whatever the hell they were doing. And I fucking walked up to him with the ghetto blaster and I said, "Who said they don't know BurstRock? Who said they want some of BurstRock?" They're like, "Wait, what?" They were all surprised because I said, like, "What the fuck?" So I battled all of them.
Yo.
I battled all of them. I took them all. I mopped the floor with all of them. I don't give a fuck what they say. I
Wow.
mopped the floor with all of them. Then they were like, "Well, we're gonna call our teacher right now to come and battle you too. His name is Jekyll." And at this time
Oh,
I didn't know who Jekyll was. At this
okay.
time, I didn't know who Jekyll was because he was not around that time where I was at. You feel me? So I
Hmm.
was like, "Call him. I'll wait for him right here. I'll wait for Jekyll." So I was ready to battle Jekyll too. You know what I'm saying? I waited about an hour. Jekyll never
Wow.
showed up. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Jekyll never showed up. And then so I left. Whatever. So that was my another interaction with them. A couple years later, Jekyll and I met. And
Hmm.
then I was like, "Yeah, bro, I was supposed to battle." I was like, "Battle?" He's like, "Battle me when?" And I told him the story. He's like, "Oh, that was you they called me for? That was you?"
That's funny.
But
Wow.
yeah, that's one. I mean, we got a lot of stories, bro, when it comes to battling and doing street shit. That's what I'm talking about, street shit. Showing up
Yeah.
and people calling out your name and you handling what you got to handle.
Right.
At the mall, at the school dances, going to somebody else's school and battling them at their school dance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Backyard parties, all that shit. That's the memorable times. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That's when it wasn't set up. You get in front of a judge, the judge goes this way, the judge goes that way, blah blah blah, whatever.
So do you feel what we call battles or what is typically called battles are more competitions?
That's a competition. That's a
Yeah.
made. It's a makeshift battle. The real battles you're gonna get are outside of the judging circle, the
Mm.
ciphers. That's
Mm.
where you got beef, where they're gonna
Hmm.
take it out on you right then and there, because ain't no one gonna stop you. No one's gonna save you.
Right. Right.
You feel me? Like you're gonna
Mm.
go toe to toe with this member, whoever this person is. That's where the real battles are at, bro. That's a real battle.
Mm.
Where you go and you sign up and you pay and you put your name and they call you versus you. Battles, but they're not. It's not real. It's a
Right.
make believe battle. You know what I'm saying? It's not a real.
Yeah.
It's not real. It's not the essence.
Right.
When you get in
Right.
that battle, you don't feel like a cipher battle.
Hmm.
You tap in a different way in a cipher battle. You tap in right there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
a whole
That's
nother ball
interesting.
game.
Yeah, that is interesting.
It's a whole nother ball game. Now, don't get me
Mm.
wrong. There's people that tap in the setups. You know what I mean? They'll tap in, but when you get in the cipher, bro, ain't no one
Right.
gonna save you right there. It's sink
Right.
or swim. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? It's sink or swim.
Who are some poppers that you were like, okay, like they're skilled, like I put respect for their craft of the work they're putting in. Are there any names that come up?
Only ones I'm ever gonna mention are people that I know, which
Hmm.
would always be my crew members. Anybody that in Funny Bones crew, because that's who I go to first is Funny
Hmm.
Bones crew. You know, but when I first started interacting with other poppers, I'd say like a Boogie Frantic before he was in the crew.
Oh,
Boogie Frantic, Jekyll.
okay.
There's another homeboy, dope as fuck. I want to say some from Europe or UK. Steen's bad as fuck.
Oh, Steen. Okay.
Steen is bad as fuck, bro. You know what I'm
How did
saying?
you meet Steen? How?
I met Steen in Washington, in DC.
Okay.
I met him in DC, and bro, amazing, bro. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? There's just a there, and who else? I mean, there's who else? I mean, there's a gang of poppers, bro. There's a
Right.
gang of poppers out there. When I first met my boy Mr. Wizard in Arizona, that motherfucker
Oh,
was bad. Is bad. You know what I'm
wow.
saying? Mr. Wizard in Arizona, when I met him like in 2003 or four, and
Okay.
Warlock and I were like, that guy's gonna be a part of our crew one day. And sure enough,
Wow.
that joined our crew. You know what I'm saying? And when with us three Raza together, him in Arizona holding it down, Warlock and I out here holding it down, and then having then we got Tronic and Frantic and Funny Bones crew. Ask Tronic and Frantic how they joined Funny Bones crew. They got in and on Hollywood Boulevard. We opened up for Gangstar Guru from Gangstar before he passed away.
Okay.
That's how them fools got into Funny Bones crew. You know what I mean? Ask Jet
Wow.
Li how he got into Funny Bones. Ask Johnny Five how he got into Funny Bones. Johnny Five battled Jet Li under the fucking freeway bridge of the 10 freeway in downtown LA. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have
Mm.
amazing members that got in a dope ass way, bro. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Ask anybody that's joined our crew. 99% of them joined our crew. They battled every crew member to get in our crew.
Wow.
Heads up with every crew member. You got to go round for every crew member. It can be you versus 20 people.
Oh, wow. Right.
That's just
Right.
we keep it as
Right.
real as possible around here, bro.
Right. Right. No, that's like
You know what I'm saying?
a rite of passage, Like you made it.
Hell yeah,
You made it.
hell yeah.
What made you start traveling? 'Cause you said you went to Arizona, you said you went to Washington. Why did you start travel? What made you to start traveling?
Well, because at a certain time, this is what I eat, lived, and breathed this shit. You know what I mean? This was my everything. I lived the life through my street dance. You feel me? So I was in DC because I went to go judge a competition out there.
Okay.
Arizona, we were going back and forth. We were battling out there, supporting different events. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What I would call networking now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's how
Mm-hmm.
we were able to recruit Mr. Wizard in our crew. That's
That's
how
right.
we were able to recruit certain other members in our crew. I mean, I
Right.
was on tour in Dallas, Texas. I've been on tour throughout the U.S. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? Bringing my crew members with me, putting money in their pockets, taking them outside of areas that they would probably never see before. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like we were doing big things. We're doing a lot of
Mm-hmm.
great things.
Mm. What would you say is the mission or like the mission statement or goal of Funny Bones Crew? What for the future? What is it? What would be the mission? What would you say that is?
The mission is to stay alive as long as possible and have our crew represent generation after generation after generation after generation. Like, we
Mm.
want to be a long lasting crew.
Mm-hmm.
You can't name outside of breakers, you can't name one crew that has been around as long as we have in the Los Angeles area that have been
Wow.
around as long as we have without ever breaking up.
Wow.
Since 2002 to 2025, we have never broken up as a crew. Our crew,
Mm.
year in, year out, stays representing, stays at these competitions, stays evolving, and we stay recruiting. Like, I'm old now, bro. Like, I'm not out there in the battles no more,
Mm-hmm.
but I got some young gunners out there still hitting it, and
Right.
that's something that we had started in 2002. Now, there's a lot of legendary crews out here. Don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong, but they have not ever been consistent in the scene without ever
Mm.
falling off. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? There's
So
not
does it?
one.
Mm-hmm.
And if they tell you otherwise, let's talk about it. We can
Mm.
debate about it.
Mm. I
You know what
see.
I'm saying?
Okay.
We
Mm-hmm.
can debate about it because there's a lot of dope crews that came from here,
Uh-huh.
but all of them joined super crews, or all of them became a different crew, or they broke
Mm.
up and joined other crews. Funny Bones is still all the way through.
Oh, okay.
So the mission statement is never fall off, keep going, keep pushing, and we ain't going nowhere.
Right.
And
Wow.
stay real as possible.
Wow. Well, since from the late 90s to 2000s all the way to 2025, what have you seen change with the dance or what have you noticed changed with dance, with popping, if anything?
Uh, Dancing's evolved a lot, bro. Like, what we were
Hmm.
doing back then is not what they do nowadays. Like, it's evolved so much. Like, it's dope to see what a lot of these youngsters are doing. Even their
Hmm.
style is dope.
Hmm.
I love the dance aspect of what the people are doing, but I just don't like the way they dress.
The
Like,
dress. Oh, okay,
the
the
dress
clothes.
code,
Yeah, no, it's
the,
true,
the
bro.
dress code is very disrespectful on
Mm.
how these youngsters look.
Mm.
Because you got to represent with class and style. You're a representation of your nationality, your heritage, of everything that you which you stand for. If you wake up and you go to battle in your pajamas, that shows you have no respect for yourself, where you come from, the people that you're representing. You feel me? That's my opinion. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? The dance style is great, but it's the style. You know, it's sloppy. The style is very, very sloppy. It's not. They don't give a fuck no more. I don't care what I'm here to battle, bro. I'm here to get dirty. I'm here, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm here to get whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is for them.
Right.
But it's all a mindset, right? Again, they don't live how I live. They
Right.
weren't struggling to buy a nice pair of jeans in the
Right.
90s and the 80s. You feel me? Like when we got a nice pair of jeans, you want to look sharp. Like I'm gonna wear these for 3 days straight because they look good. I feel good. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And a lot of the struggles that we had back then aren't the struggles now. So it's a lot of it's a lot of I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but it's not what it was. You know, it's just
Right.
not what it was. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
There's no struggle behind it no more.
Right.
You know, it's
No.
just get up and let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It is
Right.
what it is.
What would be a message for people here that are tuning in? They're watching this. They may watch this, in the future. What's a message you would like them to take away from this, from our talk today?
I would say do you. You know what I'm saying? I think and I get this a lot of times too when I people meet me and they'll ask for feedback and my opinion of them or what I think of them. And like I tell them is do you. Don't worry about what I think. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like if you love the craft and you want to get better, you're gonna get better. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like you don't need me to tell you how great you are because you should already know that in your mind that you're working to be great. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like don't let others break you down or build you up. You got to do that on your own. And there's a lot of great talent out there, and there's a lot of dope dancers out there, super dope dancers. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Poppin' Todd, sick as fucking
Oh.
white boy I know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
popping Todd. Yeah, you're
Poppin'
crazy.
Todd's a beast, bro. Like there's so many sick dancers, bro, and they created their own lane on
Mm.
who they want to be and who they are. They don't give a shit about what anybody got to say. You know what I'm saying? There's like Boogie Frank, you know what I
Mm.
mean? G-Wave, you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
G-Free, like there's just a lot of
Mm.
amazing dancers out there, bro. And there's a lot of amazing dancers that I met in throughout the different states. And everybody, it's, the, man, just be you.
Just
Be
be
you
you.
and don't bite nobody because there's a lot of biters out there, bro. And I can start dropping names on who I see is a biter. I know where those moves come from. I'm just not a person on the internet that starts hating and shit. There's a lot
Uh,
of biters out there. You can see your teacher. You can see what you learned. You know what I'm saying? There's just a lot of
mm.
hard motherfuckers. And I'm going to give a shout out to this motherfucker that's on the live right now, Johnny Blaze. That is one of the
Ah,
realest motherfuckers you'll ever meet. Johnny
nice.
Blaze is too hard for the yard for a lot of these street dancers. Why? Because he
Mm.
don't give a fuck. He's going to tell you how it is. If you don't, he's
Mm.
going to get in your face. He's going to do the most to piss you off and get under your skin. You know what I'm saying? Fuck around and find out. You know what I'm saying? You can't mess with a guy like Johnny Blaze because he's real. He's a
Mm.
real dude. You know what I'm
Hey.
saying? I just had a conversation with Johnny Blaze last week, bro. And before there was a Homeland popping, you know the first poppers out of Homeland were? Before there was the
Who,
Monday Night Poppers and all that,
who,
before they came, rest in peace, Wave-O-Matic, the first poppers that came out of Homeland. I was the first popper.
really?
You know who was right there with me? Johnny
Who,
Blaze. Johnny Blaze was right there
really?
breakdancing and transitioning to popping at the same time. So
Wow, and this is
us two are
Homeland.
the first
Okay.
out of Homeland that were dancing on a Tuesday. On a Tuesday, when nobody was there, but nothing but breakers. I'm talking 99,
Really?
1999, bro. Homeland didn't come to popping to like 2003, maybe four, when Tuesday night started happening. You know what I'm saying?
So you were there popping before all the other people
All the
came
pop,
about.
I was a popper popping on the side with all the b-boys. Remember, I come from b-boys.
Right.
You know, that's when all the breakers from Orange County, from the Valley, from LA, from
Wow.
Long Beach, from the Harbor area, everybody was at Homeland. We're talking there was like 50 breakers deep, more coming
Wow.
from different San Diego, people coming from out of town, traveling to Homeland. You know what I'm saying?
What do you
Tuesday
think? Yeah.
nights.
Tuesday nights.
Tuesday
What?
nights.
What do you think? What shifted popping to becoming more popular or more people getting into it? What do you think?
I think a lot of these competitions just started opening the doors to poppers too. To
Mm,
be honest, I don't know, bro. Like
yeah. Mm.
they just a scene just started coming out of nowhere, bro.
Do you
You know,
think
what I
it
mean,
was because,
the internet picked up.
do
The
you think
internet
it's
picked up.
because like you guys are all on TV too? Like you
We
were
were
even
on
on
TV. Yeah, a
TV,
lot of us were on TV.
right?
You know, so, a lot of us were on TV, and popping got popular too because Soul Train, because all the dancers that were on Soul Train back in the 70s and 80s and all that, you
Mm,
know, that's how it became universal too because people used to watch Soul Train all the time
I
and
see.
pick up moves from there. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's a different part of history. That's not a
Right.
history that I can speak on because I lived it through there. I lived it from the time I started.
Right.
Weren't you on like America Bandstand or something?
Nah, I was on America's Got Talent. No, no, I was on
No.
Dance Fever.
Say that again?
I was on Dance Fever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
This was before all the other dance shows came out. But I was on Dance Fever, and I mean I did a lot of commercials, a lot of music
You,
videos.
you're even in the Levi's commercial.
I was in the Super Bowl commercial in 2002, which was
Oh
the
wow.
number one commercial of the year in that
Wow.
time. It was a top 10 commercial for 10 years straight. It
Wow.
was in the
What?
top 10.
This was a what was the commercial? What was it?
Levi's Crazy Legs.
Levi's Crazy Legs.
Levi's
Okay.
Crazy Legs. Yeah.
Wow.
And like I'd like to say that because of all the things that were happening in commercial, right? Like in music videos and you guys in commercials and then like even in like 04, 05, like all those dance shows that were coming out, like
Yeah.
that's how it got even bigger, right?
Yeah. It started getting bigger. It started getting bigger in the mid 2000s
Yeah.
for sure because there was a lot. There was poppers are getting a lot more shine, and poppers
Mm.
just started coming out of the woodwork. You know, what I mean, poppers just started coming out of nowhere, and a lot of OGs started coming out again. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So, I mean, the OGs back then in the 90s that I remember that were getting down was like Animation, Mr. Animation,
Mm.
Mr. Ree, you know, Chuko, the whole Air Force crew. Air Force crew was like the shit. You know what I'm saying? Those guys were like a force to be reckoned with. You know what
The
I'm saying?
Air Force were they breakers and poppers?
They were breakers and poppers. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You also mentioned in Homeland Wave-O-Matic, and I've never met him. I know people have mentioned him. Big inspiration. How did you meet Wave-O-Matic? What was
I met
that?
him at Homeland. I met him at Homeland.
Okay.
Yeah, I met him at Homeland. Him and Tetris.
Mm.
They came to see me. They came to see me on a Tuesday night. Him and Tetris came. They both came to see me on a Tuesday night, and
Okay.
they're telling me what they wanted to do, what they had ideas for, and they were talking to Iceman and you know and Steam at the time
Hmm.
because he was the Park and Recs coordinator right there. So
Oh,
they
wow.
had the idea of creating a poppers night on Monday, and they they I don't want to say it like in a way where it sounds like they came from my blessings,
Right. Right.
but they just came out of respect to be like, hey, this is the idea that we got, and we want to come let you know too because you were the original popper out of here, and so
Right.
basically, like you know, what I mean, just showing me respect, you know, showing me love, and then they
Right.
did it, bro, and they did amazing. You know, Wave-O-Matic and Tetris, they made Monday nights to an amazing popping scene, bro, where a lot of
Wow.
poppers from around the world were coming, throwing
Wow.
competitions, and Homeland was real dope, bro. Like the Homeland battles were really
Mm.
dope. A lot of poppers, and a lot of OGs started coming out to those. That's when you
Mm.
start seeing more OGs from Long Beach, you know, more OGs from the harbor area, from LA, from different
Mm.
parts who were starting to come, bro. You know,
Wow.
and that's when we started seeing more and more faces, and it became a thing where we just started seeing more and more of everybody because now we had a scene.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we had a scene for us. You know, and Homeland was like the mecca. You know, what I
Homeland
mean,
is
that's
the
where
method.
Homeland was like the opening the doors to a lot of this activity. You know,
Wow.
and
Now think. Now I'm also thinking of other events that host poppers, like midnight with his poppers picnic. Have you been you?
yeah, Popper's Picnic is an amazing event, bro.
Mm.
Midnight did something great. with Poppers Picnic, and he brought a lot of poppers from all over the world to the Poppers Picnic. You know what I mean? And it's still something that's great. It's been going on for what, 14 years now, I think, or something. Maybe over 10 years now for sure.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's been going on for a while, but yeah, bro, it's still bringing community together, bro. It's
Wow.
bringing community together, and it's a great event for us. You know, I wish we can get it back at Griffith Park where it originally came from. Griffith Park
Okay.
was amazing, bro. Griffith Park was when it was at Griffith Park, bro. It was amazing. You know, what I mean, it's still good, but
Yeah.
Griffith Park, it's just something in the atmosphere.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, it makes
it's just
sense.
something in the atmosphere that
Right.
it created around there with all the just the legendary dancers that come out.
Right. Wow. Well, I mean, I want to. I think that's the questions I have, and unless Mikey, there's something you want to bring up, but yeah, BurstRock, I want to thank you for sharing like your truth and also being able to represent the true essence of the street dance of popping in the '90s in LA, and so like I appreciate you sharing this because like you said, go to the source, ask the people that were living it.
Yeah,
You'll get something real.
ask the people that were living it, bro. Like I said, my story is different from everybody else's. My story may not be, Sprite's story. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? But I know when I go out there and I represent, I put my culture on my back. You know what I mean? I
mhm,
put the raza on my back. You know what I mean? I'm out here in the streets. I live the street life. I'm out here low riding. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Like this isn't a make believe life for me. This is my lifestyle. This is really what I live. This is really what I
Right,
represent. You feel me? So I'm
right,
gonna show it to you, and I'm gonna give it to you the way it is, the way it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is my story. I'm gonna share it the way I know it. You know what I'm saying? Talk
yeah,
to somebody else, maybe something totally different. You know what I
right,
mean? Every city has a story. Every state has a story. I'm gonna
right.
tell you how I know it.
Right, right. Well, thank you again, BurstRock. I appreciate your story,
Yes,
and
sir.
thank you,
Yes, sir.
everyone here that tuned in as well. I appreciate that, and yeah, Mikey, appreciate you for I'll show you real quick. We'll show you. Thank you for connecting this and making this happen. So,
Tony Bones.
That's right. Well, hey, world famous Funny Bones crew. All right. Burst
Yeah,
Rock.
all right.
Don't forget it.
Thank you,
Burst
Mikey.
Rock. All right. Stay representing.
yes, sir. All right, take care,
Done.
BurstRock. Hope the rest of your night's chill.
Yeah, you
Take
guys
care.
enjoy. I'm gonna go have dinner now. Peace out.
All right, take
Peace.
care. Take care.
Peace.